Well, my last theory didn't actually garner as much hate and controversy as I thought it would. In fact, quite the opposite. It was met with a lot of likes, a lot of thumbs up, and a lot of, hey, this is a pretty strong theory. So in light of that, I've decided that I really want to make more of a mission to piss people off, and I think I've found a way to do it. Now, I put to you that at the ending of Security Breach, when Gregory sacrifices Cassie in the elevator shaft, it was not Gregory, it was the Mimic. Now, obviously, a lot of people are jumping to the conclusion that clearly it was Gregory. That closing line, we can't risk being followed. He wants to keep himself and Vanny safe. That's clean, that's easy, but as I've said in the past, it's too clean. Come down into the mud with me and let's explore this. So firstly, if I'm saying it's the Mimic and not Gregory, why would they be saying we? Why would the Mimic be saying we? Well, that's where it ties back into my previous theory. Check the eye for the link, where I touch on the fact that there can be multiple entities present within the one system. And if the Pizzaplex is operating off an AR network where everything is integrated and you can either be inside or outside of that network, well, it makes sense to me that there can be multiple entities present within the Mimic. Taking this a step further, I believe that the Mimic, it doesn't actually mimic and pretend to be people. I believe that it actually, to a degree, becomes that person, mimics their behaviors and personalities in such a way that it believes it is that being. And I put this to when we first encounter the Mimic in Ruin, it actually takes a while before the Mimic can kind of get out of Gregory mode. It's sitting there confused saying, I am Gregory.
I'm Gregory. You're not Gregory. What are you?
I'm Gregory.
Because I genuinely believe that in that moment, it is Gregory, or a version of Gregory. It's believing, it's pretending to be Gregory. Almost relating it to the movie Split, where you have multiple personalities present within the one body. Now, they're not actually different people within this body, however, they are different personalities with their own different traits, strengths, and weaknesses. So humor me and say that yes, there are multiple entities present within the Mimic, and the we they're referring to is that we can't risk being followed out of the Pizzaplex now that we are released and we are safe. This, I believe, can be supported by the fact that obviously the Mimic was going after Cassie for that reason, and I can't help but wonder how would Vanny and Gregory remotely make an elevator shaft fail. Now, it didn't look super archaic, however, it also didn't look super advanced. So I'm sitting here wondering how they purposely made the elevator shaft fall. When it falls, it almost sounds mechanical. It sounds like a mechanical failure.
No!
So for a mechanical failure, it means a wire is snapped or something more rudimentary than hacking into a system. Couple that with the fact that in the books, the Mimic can actually manipulate electrical elements and electrical devices. We see this with Cassie's torch as she's actually approaching the Mimic. Her torch goes off. I believe that was an act from the Mimic. And also, before Gregory says they can't risk being followed, there's this small disruption in the feed.
You shut down the security, and now it's free. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
And to me, it sounds like a static noise, as if you were changing radio stations, or in this case, changing frequency on a walkie-talkie. I believe that's the sound we hear. I believe the true Gregory and Vanny are cut off from the feed, and the Mimic takes over to say, I'm sorry, we can't risk being followed. Now, the apology would lend itself to the fact that it's mimicking Gregory's personality. The we can't risk being followed is the Mimic's true nature, in which it wants to destroy Cassie, get out of the Pizzaplex, and do its nefarious business. This theory, It's just a little one, and it doesn't have a heap of supporting evidence aside from what I've just run through, but I think there's enough there to at least question the fact that Gregory is a good boy. He wouldn't sacrifice his longtime friend, even if but to get away. If anything, he'd run into danger for Cassie, not away from danger. And I believe that the mimic is the one who manipulated the elevator shaft, cut off Gregory from the feed, and once it couldn't actually physically get a hold of Cassie to stop her through the elevator, it pulled the pin and tried to kill her. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.